Welcome everybody to Annie T Chats, and today I bring to the table the infamous fairy godfather himself, Daddy Cool, that is psychic medium, Bill Hughes. Welcome to the podcast, Bill. Thank you for saying yes.
Well, thank you so much for the invite, and I'm really humbled and honoured. So thank you for creating and holding this space for us.
Oh, it's great. It's for all, developing mediums listening in, and of course for myself too. I just want to blend in with the energy, as does all my students that are doing the Reiki and energy healing. So it's for the community. It's for everybody, to learn something from the masters of psychic mediumship.
Oh, I wouldn't say masters, but there we go. That's a completely different podcast, Anne.
How long have you been a psychic medium?
So I started my journey, or my public journey,
Okay.
back in 2018. Starting with small spiritualist churches and centres. And then as the years have progressed, I've evolved into different venues, social environments. I've even done mediumship demonstrations in cafes and coffee shops. Wherever the calling takes me, I do follow, Anne.
And like 2018, I'm surprised to hear it was 2018.
Yeah, 2018. To be fair, I've been spirit sensitive from a very young age. So I would say I had my awakening around about the age of 11. I lost my dad, as I say, at the age of 11. My dad was 42. He passed very young, bless him.
Wow.
And it was probably about 6 months after his passing that I became sensitive and realised that there was something more. There was this unseen world.
We kind of get into that. That can't be it. This can't be it. What's the point of all it? It's just you have to have that belief that there has to be more. And of course, the awakening will be something that appears to be that is disastrous upon self, that the foundations of you is just literally on the floor and going, oh my God, how am I going to get myself up from this? So the awakening, 11 years of age. So, and you were sensitive then to the energy. So then obviously your father was connecting in with you, and you were aware that he was still there.
Absolutely. He'd come to visit me. I was very fortunate that I actually got to see him, as well as hold and engage those conversations mind to mind. But I've been very fortunate with my journey with spirit, where I actually get to see, as well as sense, as well as feel, as well as smell, as well as taste, as well as hear. So working on all of those clear senses, not necessarily all at one time, because as you know, when we connect with spirit, each communicator is unique and individual in their own right. So, if I'm working with a visitor from heaven and they want to clairaudiently deliver their message to me, for me to pass over to a loved one, then that's the way that I roll with the vein of that message. But yeah, I've been very fortunate, and that I've been able to work on the majority of the clear senses most of the time.
Wow. And which came first? Or was it just this tsunami of feelings? Or did you, like at 11, you didn't know the different clear senses? How did you progress that? How did you, yeah.
I think I just grew into it, if I'm honest. As I say, visually, that's where things started for me. But I instantaneously knew that we were communicating, Dad and I. We were communicating via conversation, which was mind to mind, transferable. So I instantly knew that, there was something else here I could see. I would say to my mum, and you can imagine as an 11-year-old child back in the days when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and you're saying to your mum, well, there's a lady that's standing over there in the corner of the living room and she's dressed in Victorian attire. And my mum's like, who was at that time a complete non-believer, thinking that she's got a child that is somewhat disturbed. And my mum took me on a journey to our local spiritualist church, where I sat with the president, with the minister, and he explained to me that the feelings, the senses, what I was seeing, what I was hearing, I wasn't going mad. They were all actually quite normal, but not everybody gets to experience that. So I think he put it in a really lovely context for an 11-year-old child to believe and understand. But also, I think it was very reassuring for my mum at the same time, because it opened up her awareness at that point also.
It's lovely to hear when I'm talking to psychic mediums and the parents have helped develop the child,
Yes.
completely, for me anyway, it wasn't that case at all. So it's lovely to hear that it's been nurtured and you were held in that space of
Yeah.
it's okay, it's normal that you can do this. I wish all parents were like that, but these are the life lessons that we all that we all have to face. So how did you right, your father's passing sparked your interest into developing yourself, I suppose. And then was it a weekly thing that you went to the spiritual church like from 11, or was that
Yeah,
18?
yeah, pretty much so. I think when I first entered the doors of the church, for me, there was that sense of feeling as though I was in a place where I belonged, where I felt safe, where I felt comfortable, where I got a great sense of healing. So, as an 11-year-old child, yes, I would regularly attend church services midweek, Sunday divine services, but it wasn't within my mindset at that time with regards to develop. It was more of an awareness and an understanding to take in the ambience of the healing, to understand what life after life was all about, to hear, different people's understandings and perceptions of life after life in their reality, in their world. And that brought me a great sense of comfort, knowing that, there were people that were up on a platform that were demonstrating mediumship that could engage in these conversations and deliver them to audience members. And I used to sit in awe. I think that was probably, if I'm being totally honest, that was my classroom for many, many years, because you know as well as I do that when you see and you sit and you watch another medium work, there is so much that you can learn. So for me, there were many years of that homework taking place before I got to a point within my later years of life, where again I had this massive life changing impact that took place, and spirit almost kind of like dive bombed in and said, right, we're taking over now, here's your challenge, should you choose to accept it, and wallop, off we went.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? Somebody, whatever age you are, I was 42, by the way, when I had my awakening. I'm raging. It was so late for me. Uh, Spirit were always saying, accept or decline, yes or no. Are you ready for this? And I'm like, am I ready for it? It's a big thing to accept it when you know that you are working beyond the veil, that you are working with spirit, isn't it? And it's
Yeah, but I also think that spirit know when the time is right.
uh,
They will know when the time is right to step in and to take you on the journey. If I, in hindsight, um, had I developed in my later teens, my early 20s,
yeah.
would I have got as much out of it that I have to present day? Probably not, no, because my mind and my life were somewhere completely different at that moment in time. So I feel that it is all about divine timing and spirit stepping in just at that right moment where they take your hand and they lead you on this whirlwind path of a journey that we just continuously learn and evolve from.
Yeah, there's all these different like platforms to it, isn't there? Yeah, you do think, oh my God, it's going to be so wonderful because I've sat in demonstrations and the energy is absolutely amazing when it's just there and you're just sitting. I just go to just sit in the energy and not to get a reading, just to sit there and just to be in the love of it because it's just this expansion of love and of course the channel after doing so much work. So you do a lot of demonstrations and platforms yourself.
I do.
Bring us back to your first one. How old were you? Yeah, let's go.
2018, I stepped out onto platform. How good are your maths? Now we're going somewhere. So 2018, we're in 2026 now. So that's 8 years. 8 off of 51. I'm giving my age away now.
You're 51.
I am.
I'm ahead of you. I'm older.
Yes, 8 off of 51. What's that? So what? 43. Yeah, 43. I sat. I sat in development for 4 years prior to taking that first leap of faith and stepping out onto a platform. So from the age of 39, I sat 2 development circles twice a week.
You got to have that commitment, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the development circle. So do you recommend that to development medium to find a circle, to commit and to just show up every week, every same time,
Absolutely.
every week?
Absolutely. You have got to be so regimented
Yeah.
with your learnings, with your understandings. Even if you know that you're going to a class or a session that doesn't quite fit your mold, still show up. Still put in, because if you don't put in, you will never, ever get out. And again, that's Spirit's way of teaching us a lesson.
I remember sitting there in a circle before and everyone was just chit chatting and I just wanted to get to work. I'm like, come on, let's do the exercises. Let's get and Spirit were like, this is part of it. Have patience, have patience. And I was like, oh my God, we're waiting for the next person, waiting for them to show. It was very loose and it was just driving me insane. I was like, I have to sit by myself. So I used to I've spent years in my space just sitting by myself because I couldn't get it outside in a circle environment. I did try though, but I did commit to sitting myself in my little space.
Uh-huh. You
So,
touched on the word there as well, patience, Anne. And that is a massive, massive word that we all have to take great responsibility and accountability for, because yes, wouldn't it be lovely to be able to go and sit a circle for 3 months and then come out of it thinking that you know it all? Because, that is the perception of some. They think that they're going to just join this circle, they're going to sit a few classes, and then they're this fully fledged medium that can go out into the wider world and heal people. No, I don't think so. But patience is the key word here, because it teaches us a lesson, and it's almost like Spirit are sitting up there and they're on the gas pedal where the word patience is concerned. So they'll rev it a little bit and they'll give you something, and you think, yeah, this is great, this is fantastic, I think that I'm at the top of my game. And then they're like, wallop, there you go, there's something else to throw into the mix, now let's see how you can cope with that. So it's this constant evolution of learning. I mean, I'm still learning now, this very day. I will learn until I leave this world and go back home. And I'm totally up for that challenge. But patience, everybody who's watching that's developing, you will loathe that word by the end of your training.
yeah, somebody said to me recently about the Reiki because I'm doing it a couple of years, and Spirit's always said strip it back, just keep it to that. We just want you to do that. And somebody said, "What have you got most from Reiki?" And I was like, "Patience. It's just taught me patience. It's taught me compassion. It's time, being precious with time and stuff. It depends really what you need from it. It's going to give you."
Absolutely.
So through your demonstrations and your through your demonstrations, your platforms, is that how you continue to develop? Is that you're developing your skill by just keep on doing that to stay in the energy of it?
Yeah, look, I think it's with any look. If we put mediumship to one side and we maybe tailor it into a profession, okay, or a work ethic, you know as well as I do that if you keep chipping away, you're going to continuously evolve. You're going to continuously expand. And mediumship's no different for me. So demonstrating, um, I do it with a passion. But also equally, I learn so much from every single demonstration of mediumship that I do, because spirit change things up as well, because they don't want you to become complacent. They want you to continuously grow. They want you to continuously evolve. If you're serving spirit from the purity of your soul, and you are that unique light bulb that they know that they can convey message to their loved ones, they will use you and they will continuously evolve you and change the dynamics of what you think mediumship should be. So just as you become really comfortable sitting in a particular clear sense, for example, they'll go, well, up there you go, have that now, work on that one. Or just as you get to a point where, you know, you feel as though there's this familiarity that kicks in, because I teach this quite a lot, the familiarity of the mind, the triggers, the similarities of life experiences that you've lived out. Spirit will work with all of that within your mindset in order for you to be able to construct and convey message. And just when you feel that you've got there, they'll change the dynamics. Like, I used to sit really comfortably thinking, yep, I've delivered that message, and I hope that was enough for that recipient. And then they'll give you a baby that's passed, or they'll give you a murder, or they'll give you a suicide, and it's like, right, you've got it up to this point. Now we're going to challenge you. Now we're going to give you something really, really different that's going to mess with your head. Okay. And it's all about that trust, as we know. It's all about trusting exactly what it is that spirit placed into your mindset and going with that, not over evaluating, not trying to put it into your own headspace and mix it up and come out with something completely different. If they're giving you a sledgehammer, give the sledgehammer, because that just might be something unique, the cherry on the top of the cake, that's going to take the breath away from that recipient when they're like, oh my God, I know exactly what it is that you mean by saying.
Yeah, that you say something, it means absolutely nothing to you. I would personally, I hold a lot of fear around that. I'm just like, Spirit, I can't deliver that message. And they're like, you can. And I don't, because I feel I can't, that I don't have the right vocabulary. I can't say that word. I don't have the right words. I just panic in that moment, and I freeze, and I always freeze, and I go, no, I can't. And I ask them to step back because it's too much for me. And I like, obviously that's why I'm developing, that
But then equally, Anne, you're talking about vocabulary, or you don't feel that you're going to deliver it in the best context, but spirit chose you. Spirit connected with you because they knew that you would convey that message and that you would put it across, and that recipient would get something from it. So that's where you've got to learn to sit and trust. And thanks, Spirit. Thank you so much for allowing me to be that channel, for allowing me to be your voice. Give me more. Thank you very much. And
I,
just go with it.
yeah. And I think that's where we lose a lot of mediums, as Hannah McIntyre would say. We lose a lot of mediums because of this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I get it. I get it, because it's a huge responsibility.
Massive.
Are like massive, and to hold an open heart all the time with the lessons, and you're just like, oh my God, how much more can I freaking take? Like, as I was saying, it's just like you're on this final rinse all the time, and you're just like, oh my God, when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? But it doesn't. It's just, I don't want to scare people as well, because it is beautiful when you tap into the energy, but you've got to be able to sit, to tap into it, and I'm learning that greatly now. But how do you how do you work through that, Bill?
You just trust the process. You build up that confidence with your own guide inspiring team, or your guide inspirer, your angel helper, that family member that steps forward to help you on your journey. You build into that trust. You understand what it is that they're placing with you, that they're giving that to you for a reason. It's not for you, it's for the person that you're connecting with Earthside. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you begin to feel, and the more spirit will give you in return.
I could listen to you all day. I love your tone, by the way.
Thank you. You know, when we sign up for this, there's no retirement age. There's no cut
Yeah.
off, Anne. You know, when you step into the shoes to serve the spirit world, it's with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a journey, it's a walk, it's a path that you're walking. What's the
Yeah.
biggest misconception people would have or hold around mediumship, do you think?
I think there's a lot out there. Look, without opening up a huge can of worms, you know, there's religion.
Yeah,
There's religion which condemns our beliefs and what it is that we do. There are the non believers, and that's absolutely fine because that's their free will, that's their freedom of choice. But equally, there's so many more out there that are like minded, that need to hear, that need to be able to reach out, that need to see. And that's what I focus on more than anything else. I don't allow that negativity. I don't allow that condemning to even, you know, touch any part of my like etheric um etheric soul. I just can't deal with it. You know, if somebody's challenging with me, that's absolutely fine. If somebody comes to a dem of mine and they're not respectful, I'll simply invite them to leave. I'll simply invite them to leave. I don't want them there.
wow. And you'd be that confident to say, listen, do you want to go? Or
100%.
wow.
Collect your money on the way out and close the door behind you. Thank you for coming.
And would you have difficult people and platforms? Have you come across that,
I
Bill?
have.
Wow.
Yeah, I've encountered it twice, but dealt with it very respectfully, but
Yeah.
very direct. Because I and spirit don't have time for people like that. You know, when you've got a congregation of 50, 100 people, and you've got maybe one out of those 100 that wants to interrupt or cause some type of disruption, they've got to go. It's as simple as that.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. No, you are right. And a lot of mediums probably, I don't know, I haven't seen it happen before that they would be watching somebody and it would interfere with the absolutely, I'd imagine.
It does. It affects the energy, but then you're not really going to encounter that when you're working in spiritualist setups. So, for example, churches and centres, because those people that are coming to those places are regular. 95% of them are believers. It's only when you move to the outskirts and you go to the different venues where there's the social environments where there's spirit with spirit, and you know, maybe 50% of that audience that are there are believers and 50% aren't. So that does change the dynamics of the energy. But again, if you're working in that trust and that purity of your soul, you know that spirit are going to take you to those that you should be connecting with, not those that are there to judge or condemn.
Yeah, they're going to, you're going to be at the right place at the right time for
Yeah.
the right person to be there as well. Really cool. What do you think needs to change within the moon? What do you want my teeth in? What do you think needs to change within the mediumship community? Do you feel that there could be changes there?
Massive,
Yeah, go on.
massive. And again, not wanting to open up a huge can of worms and get myself a bad name, But I think you've probably um, got an understanding of who I am as a person now. I just say it as it is, and it either offends or pleases, and I agree to disagree, and I don't make enemies along the way, or I try not to, at least.
Are you?
But within the mediumship community, for people that claim to be really spiritual, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. The bit there's one lady who I sat development with for many years, and she still sits development with me to this day in one of my online classes. And she said something to me very early on when I was just starting out on platform. She said to me, "Remember this." She said, "The bigger the smile, the longer the knife." And I thought, what is she talking about?
For me, the bigger the smile.
The longer the knife.
Oh my goodness. What, we can't smile now?
No, basically what she's saying is the bigger their smile, the longer the knife to stab you in the back. And you know what? She was absolutely bang on 100%. Look, I had a rant on my page yesterday, on my Facebook page, about spiritual people and people wanting to get involved
Yeah.
or feel that they can get involved with your journey and your direction. And I've had a few people that have passed comment or have indirectly said something with regards to, well, he shares the platform with such and such and such and such. Why won't he share the platform with me? It's simple, my friend.
Yeah.
You don't match my energy. You don't match my ethics. You don't work within the same purity from your soul. You've not put in the work ethic. You've come onto the circuit after putting in very little training. You've got a bad name for yourself. It's never going to happen.
The list is endless.
The list is absolutely endless. If somebody's going to share, if you are going to share, Anne, moving forwards, if you are going to share a platform with any other medium, you've got to make sure that energetically you're compatible,
Yes.
that you work within the same ethos, the same ethic, that spirit are at the forefront of your mind. Ego is left at the back of the door.
Yeah.
And, without that, without those cogs, without those mechanics, it's never going to work. So why would I, after 8 years of hard graft, hard slog, travelling up and down the United Kingdom, travelling overseas, working online, establishing myself as a medium, and that's not me being egotistical, this is just me being realistic.
Yeah, I know.
Why would I, after 8 years of that hard slog, allow somebody just to attach themselves to me like a limpet because they think that they're going to be the next Colin Fry, the next Eric Acora, the next TJ Higgs? The list, again, is endless because you get these that are very channel focused that are now coming onto the mediumship circuit where it's all about financial gain and status.
Yeah. I agree.
They're not for me. They're not for me. They never will be.
And it's like I do a lot of stuff online practice reads. And my husband does say, like, what were you doing? How was your day? And I said, oh, doing some practice reads. And he'd be thinking, because he's business, money. I said, how come everyone else is making money on this and you're doing all these little free readings all the time? And I'm like, that's all part of it. That's part of the debate. He doesn't get it, though. It's okay. I don't mind that he doesn't get it. But it's true. You have to you have to put that out there as well to kind of gain the confidence to get. That's like a massive part of it. Not all that is online, what we do, like out there on social media. There's a lot of like behind the curtain kind of work that's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so difficult. Everyone thinks it's, that we're walking around on rollerblades or, we're floating around and life is wonderful. Life is great. It's just like, I think that if you're coming into mediumship, you got to be energetically ready.
Yeah.
choice, I suppose, that you are the choice. You are you are the choice. You are the decider.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not easy, Bill.
it totally isn't. And you can't come into it with the mindset of some of the examples that I've just shared, expecting an established medium to endorse you. You've got to put all that in yourself.
I know.
And that's your way of proving to spirit that you are in for it,
That
for
you're
the
in the long
longevity.
haul. Yeah,
It's just not short term. And so, yeah.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. We need some fairy dust from our fairy godfather.
Rant over.
So, what are you seeing that is out there that can be detrimental for developing mediums?
God,
Oh,
you've only got to go onto some of these online services or these free live readings and just listen
I can't.
to the droll
I
that they are
can't.
speaking. Oh, you've got to share this out so many times before your loved one will connect to me. You've got people that are holding service that are smoking cigarettes, or they're sitting in their pajamas and their dressing gowns, and you just think, Christ almighty, dress up for the occasion. You're representing people's loved ones. I don't want to turn my phone on and scroll onto your page where you've got your hair up in rollers, you've got a cigarette butt hanging off the bottom of your lip, and you've got everything on display that's left for like the mind's imagination. And then we can move on to the evidential mediumship that it is that they suggest that they give. And like, sometimes I just look and I think this is an absolute car crash waiting to happen. And then, they're saying things in such a detrimental way that, and this is the thing, Anne, right? We've got the power to uplift or destroy.
Yes.
And we have got such a responsibility when we are dealing with not only people's emotions earthside, but the message that we're sharing from spirit as well. I mean, even that, let me give you an example for when I'm demonstrating. If somebody connects to me from spirit side and they've been murdered, okay, murder is a very strong word to use, okay? So for me, I will always say, person that's connecting to me makes me understand that their life was taken through the hands of another.
That's your ethics. That's that's the training. That's why training is so important with a well-developed medium that
Yeah,
can talk you through that process of how. That's where I stop, Bill. That delivery of those words that I'm like, I can't do this, and this is where training will come in for me for sure. But there's loads to take into consideration,
yeah,
or for suicide. I'm getting that saying responsible for their own passing. So now that's
yeah,
something that I've learned along the way. I haven't, yeah, the likes of a murder, or I just no, I don't know how to deliver this. I would see spirit with heads bowed down or something, and there's a lot of regret, and I don't know how to deliver that even. And I'm just like, oh my God, I need more training.
yeah,
And this is where the training is so important.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe there's people out there, Bill, that would fall for these people, these people in their dressing gowns, cigarette
They
hanging
do.
out now, and not giving two hoots of how they're going to say it. And they're like, "I'll just say it as it is. I've no ego." Like, it's ridiculous.
But they do, because, we've got vulnerable people
Oh, yes.
that come to our demonstrations, whether that be online, whether that be in person. There is a vulnerability
Yeah.
that comes with that person when they walk through the doors, whether that be the physical or the virtual. And we have to be mentally prepared for that, because we will be challenged. We will be challenged. And we have a responsibility to make sure that we are delivering their message in the best form of context that's going to leave them, as I said earlier, uplifted and skipping off out through the church or the centre or the venue doors, knowing that they've made that connection with their loved one. They've felt the ambience of them being in a room with them one more time, and knowing that the information that's been shared is validated and that it's clear, it's clean, it's precise.
And they know. They just leave with that knowing. There's
Absolutely.
no questions. There's a certainty about they've just spent time in their loved one's energy.
Absolutely. And for me, that's what it's all about. It's about bringing the essence of that communicator back into the room. Whether that be for 1 minute, whether that be for 5, whether that be for 30, whatever it is, it's all about making sure that they feel the love of that communicator and the presence of them being in that space at that moment in time.
I love the way you deliver all your words.
Bless you.
Yeah, I get this sense of, that I always see, the Cinderella, the glass slipper. I
Mm-hmm.
always see the glass slipper, and I kind of that fragile, handle with care. I always get the glass slipper when it's a very fragile situation. That's how spirit presented to me. So, oh my God, Bill, the silence psychic.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to talk about this, if that's okay. Your
Yes.
autobiography, I love a good book. When is this coming out?
Do you know what, Anne? I wanted it to go to publication last year, and I thought to myself, 2025, it will be ready for Christmas. Is it? No. Because why?
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I want it to evolve organically.
Okay.
As I'm demonstrating, or as life within the normal evolves, something else will come in, something else will kick in, or something will happen. And I think, oh my God, that is so relatable. That's got to go into the book. And it's just continuously growing. It's like, when and where do I stop?
Well, you've got 2 different volumes then, volume 1, volume 2. Like you're going to have to do it like that and go the evolving. I've read some of your words. I know that you put a few words in Spirit Social for us, and I was stalking your page today, and I read such beautiful words. I was just like, wow. Even the name, the Silence Psychic.
Yes.
I'm dying.
That came from spirit.
Yeah.
That came direct from spirit. I held this conversation for more than one occasion. I still do hold these conversations now. But I was having my team talk, so to speak, one evening. I said, I really need a title that's going to tie into the dynamics of the content that I'm putting into the autobiography.
Yeah.
And it just dropped in. Just like that, just dropped in, The Silent Psychic, because without giving too much away,
Yeah.
I know I drop these little snippets from time to time because it's good to feed it out there, and it's good to see how people react, because then that the content that you've shared a snippet of will be really relatable and needs to go into the book. But yeah, I've kind of like, I've gone through life where I've been silenced on many, many occasions. Believe it or not, I mean, I've been very vocal so far this evening, but I've got to this point where I'm 51 and I can say and do as I please now, because I understand my own worth, my own self-worth. Okay. But yeah, look, I was very much silenced as a child. I was very much silenced as a teenager. I was very much silenced through my married life. And it wasn't until I came out of that, I had this massive spiritual awakening, life-changing circumstance, whole world flipped upside down, turned on its head. But I finally found my voice. Actually, I finally found who Bill Hughes was. because I'd lost myself for years in a marriage that was one-sided, and I morphed into, instead of being singular, I morphed into this couple, and I was trapped. There was just no way out. I lost all sense of self-worth, self-identity, confidence. Listen, the list is endless. I would bore everybody if I went on all night long. But
Not at all, never.
I got to that point where things changed.
Yeah.
You know, you listen, manifesting and putting your thoughts out to the universe and to spirit, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me twisted, right? Because it is a powerful thing. And subconsciously, you know, I had been putting it out there for several years that I need a way out. This isn't working. I just can't leave. I've got 5 children. How could I walk out on a family home?
Yeah.
And then I didn't have to, because the other party kind of like, you know, put an end to the marriage, which was great. It wasn't at the time. You can imagine, you know, your life's turned upside down. But let me tell you, it was great. It is great, because where I am now and what it is that I'm doing, I'm whole, I'm full, and
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah. And we
You
think
know?
that when we are having the identity crisis and then we're having the breakdown, because everybody has those breakdowns, and you get to realize they're actually your breakthroughs. They're actually your defining. They're the great moments. But they are difficult times for people to get through, and the universe will deliver whatever it is that you're vibing, that you're putting out there. Don't worry about the time. You could be wasting loads of time as well, but they will just allow it to happen. It'll happen for you, you know? It's funny, you'd say to somebody, well, who are you? And automatically you go, well, I'm a mum. No, who are you? Well, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt. But you're all these to everybody else, but who are you? And it's just like, oh my God, I don't know. That.
And that is the hardest lesson
Oh my God,
in
that was
life,
huge. That was
to
life.
find yourself. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
Without the
And
trauma.
I think, you know, with spirit as well, unless you've gone into this sense of healing oneself,
Yeah.
how can you be expected to help others heal? You can't. You've got to know and trust and understand who you are before you can start helping others repair themselves.
Yeah. You've got to do the work to know who you are, to hold that space for someone that doesn't know who they are. And they are then activated by, or inspired even by you having the courage to speak up or to say whatever. But I'm really looking forward to this autobiography. So do it in 2 parts. Because I know the ending of the last trimester. It's like delivering a baby. It really is. It gets uncomfortable, and it's just like, when is this going to come out? You need to go, right, okay, I'll put out half it now because I'm dying to read it. It was like, why stop now? You just put out a paragraph there, and I was like, it's like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, but do you know, Anne, during the process as well of writing all of these different chapters,
Yeah,
um, I've done even more self-healing.
yeah,
I've done even more inner work that I thought I had dealt with. I thought I had put it to bed. I mean, I was sitting one night writing just a simple little extract, and like, I had tears
yeah,
rolling down, and I just thought to myself, where on God's earth has this come from, and what is this all about? But you know, it's maybe just peeling back that elastoplast that you put over, thinking that that was going to heal that wound, but actually it took it off and said, right, we've fully got to stitch this before you can move on. into the next part of your book. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster. You're talking to somebody who didn't really go to school, okay, that didn't leave with many GCSEs, okay, that's not very literate, that doesn't know where capital letters, full stops, commas, explanation marks, question marks, where they should all sit and how they should be placed. But saying that, I'm very fortunate because there's two lovely souls that, again, Spirit have aligned with me, that have said, we'll be the proofreader when you're ready to go.
Yeah, they'll edit
So,
it for you and the
yeah,
proofread. So they've
yeah,
delivered that for you.
yeah.
Isn't it great how Spirit do that? They give you everyone that you need down here as well. They'll just put those people in front of you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you'll
So
just,
I hope by this time next year, Anne,
oh,
we'll be
I hope.
we'll be in a position to have it fully published. But the reason why it's held off slightly longer than it should have is because there is some content that I've had to have checked for legal reasons, and I don't want to get myself into trouble because it is a tell-all. You know, there is some real raw content in there. There's, I hope, well, I trust, I don't hope, I trust that
Yeah.
what I share will reach those and inspire others, that they're not alone. They're not on this journey by themselves. There's content there that will relate to everybody, and I hope that it will give them an injection or a boost, or it'll give them something that they can take from it in order to be able to move forwards.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. And I'm not about it. It is raw to be writing. I remember when I was writing my own book and they were saying, "Are you doing your memoirs?" And I was like, "No, God, no, it's not about me." I'm writing about the energy of, I don't think I'd be brave enough to do that, to be honest with you. I don't know. Okay. So I'm really excited about that coming out, by the way.
Bless you. Bless you.
So if somebody wants to book in with you for a one-on-one, because I know you do one-on-ones as well, and I hear you're very good.
Yes.
How do they book in with you?
Well. First of all, the medium is never very good. It's always the spirit communicator that gives you
Yeah.
what it is, that
Yeah.
gives you the sense of feeling good. But
Yeah.
yeah. People can reach out to me on my socials, Anne. I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. So if there's interest, they can always reach out to me on there.
Okay, perfect. 2026. So I see that I'm really interested in doing it as well. You're doing monthly mentorships for
Yes.
different levels, beginners, intermediates, and advanced. Tell us about this. This is huge. This is fantastic. When is it starting up?
Yeah, so it starts up in January. It's going to run for over a 6 month duration,
Yeah.
where it'll be a monthly course,
Once a
one
month.
for beginners, one for intermediates, and one for advanced. Because I was finding that I have existing students that are being placed into the relevant structured classes, but I was finding that there were just so many people that were reaching out that wanted to join, and I was limited because I didn't want to introduce people into a pre-existing group to change the dynamics of that. I was very conscious that what I had was closed, and it needed to be closed in order for them students to get the best out of their learnings and their understandings. And also, they've got that trust and that community feel with one another. But I've got to a point where actually I've got two of them, where I'm taking them out. I'm taking them out onto the road for the first time. I'm getting them out demonstrating. So I've got
Fantastic.
Craig coming out with me in December. And then when I'm over in Ireland next year, I've got Graham, who is Ireland based, coming out and having a go on platform as well, whilst I'm over in the Emerald Isle. So, that is, for me, that is part of the responsibility of being a mentor and a tutor, and that is giving and holding that space and the opportunity to get your students out there when they're ready. Um,
Yeah. You've got to have that as well when they're ready. They have to
yes,
be ready, they have to be.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. So, is it once a month for a 2 hour thing, or is it like a Zoom?
So it's generally about an hour and a half. So I try to contain numbers per group,
Yeah,
um, purely again so that everybody is seen, everybody is heard. Because look, I could fill it up again. With people that are already on the waiting list, I could double it up again. But will people get the best out of that? No, they won't.
yeah.
So
Better. Intimate
yeah,
sentence, especially when you're learning. There can't be too many people. It's just too much not just too much organized, it's just too much. And
yeah.
I get that it has to be closed as well, that somebody new, it just changes the dynamics of the whole group. And it's just, I get that. Absolutely. I'll definitely look into that, and we can get those dates and information online in your Facebook page.
Just once again on my Facebook page, if there's interest, then just drop me a message and we can discuss further.
Okay. And you're coming to Dublin. Well, you're coming to the west of Ireland.
I am,
Go
yes.
through Dublin.
We might do a slight detour and visit Dublin, and you never know. Hey,
I'd like to organise something when you are here, so you have to keep in touch with me with dates, and we'll get you
okay,
into the centre. And
that'd be lovely.
yeah, I'd love that, and I know that the students would love that as well. A little intimate event with you, if you can, that would be
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. What else have I got to ask you? I don't know. I think I've asked you everything. I think I've put you. But yeah, we've come to the end, my friend. You know what? And I was really nervous about you coming on because I haven't worked with you before. I haven't spoken to you, but I've heard so much about you from all the little elves. I've heard from you, from Glenda and David, and of course Hannah as well. So your name keeps popping up.
Well, listen, it's lovely. It's lovely that people speak so fondly.
Yeah.
Um, you know, look, and now that we've connected, I'm sure that we will be friends for life. Um, because that's just the type of person that I am, and that's how I roll. When you fit the mold, and you're cut from the same piece of cloth, you just take that person with you as you evolve throughout life. So I'm sure this won't be the last.
Yeah, and it's that's really important as well, to find your people that are into the same
Absolutely.
things that you're into, and therefore you're getting this it's a new language. It's literally like a new language. And then of course you're channeling, you're focusing your attention on what it is that you want to bring in for yourself. That's actually manifesting. You're manifesting
Yeah,
in the moment. I
yeah.
absolutely love it. Like, I just can't get enough of it. And eat, sleep, and drink, and mediumship. I'm just like, I think it's amazing, but I have to say, it's the most brutal, brutal journey of self-reflection, of accountability, of all of the things that I didn't even think about. Ignorance is bliss, for sure. Absolutely. I was in that for years. I didn't realize consequences. I didn't realize that. And then of course when you're going inward and you go on that journey, you've got to unpack all that. And
Crikey.
fuck, it's just like, why did I choose this? Why? It's like I want to just put the blinkers back on, fog up the glasses, and just go the way it was. But you just can't go back.
You
One,
can't, because how boring would life be?
yeah, you just have this different lens, and it's like what I see and what I hear is just completely different now to what I'm feeling, and I'm kind of going with that. But that alone itself, Bill, is you still working on that.
Oh yeah.
Still working on it because you're just there in your discernment going, what the fuck? Like, do I take this on board? What do I do with this?
And you know, Anne, as well, during this process, people will come, people will go.
Yeah.
You know, you will become less tolerable to certain behaviour characteristics,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and you know, sometimes you will actually be forced to make these really quite harsh decisions with disconnecting from people that maybe you've known for many years of your life. They could even be family members.
Yeah.
It's just that that vibrational frequency no longer matches. And it doesn't mean to say that, you know, if they leave your life that they're going to leave it for good. It just means that they're getting off the journey at a certain stop and they can rejoin it and pick it up at a different point. But you know, you've just got to go with it. You've just got to roll with it. For all those of you that are new, that are maybe embracing the journey, just, you know, all I can say is just trust the process. It is a roller coaster of a ride, you
100.
know. So make sure that you buckle up, buttercups, because you need to be tightly strapped in.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to scare people by any means, but you know, I just think that you've got to be not only open minded, but you've also got to be open hearted
That
as well.
that journey from here down to there, that 12 inches, is the longest journey, I'm still on it, that you will ever take.
We all are.
Yeah,
We all are. We're still evolving, and like I said earlier on in the podcast, you'll get to a point where you think, I've mastered this. I'm on top of things.
and as soon as you say something like, "Oh, things are great," if you have that conversation with, "I'm feeling great, everything's great," it's just even saying it out loud now, something will happen that day, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because they hear me. Oh yeah, so it's definitely it's not for the lighthearted. It is you know, some days you'll be on the floor, which I have been. You know, this morning was quite difficult and I was like, what's this all about? Like, where's this coming from? And then you just have to kind of sit with that going, oh my God, how much more can I sit with myself? You know?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
it's not taken lightly for sure. For sure. Listen, Bill, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I've been
Thank
looking
you.
forward to connecting in with you and you know, we've done it, you know. Yeah, thank you and thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for the invite. I'm like I say, I'm really touched and honoured. So it's been a wonderful meeting and a wonderful exchange, and long may it continue.
Oh, thank you. I'm definitely going to bring you to the centre when you come to Dublin next year between May and June. So
I'm signing up for it already. I'm popping my spiritual signature onto the contract as we speak.
it's bound now, it's bound in time. Okay, thank you, Phil. Phil? Oh my God. Bill.
Yeah. Is it
God,
because I look like Phil Mitchell?
thank you.
You're welcome, man. God bless.